Welcome, everybody, in the Movie Guys verse. This is Jordan here, part of Movie Guys Podcast. We wanted to say thank you so much for downloading this most recent episode. If you don't know what Movie Guys Podcast is, we are a new movie review show that is updated weekly. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.com and also movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another awesome episode of Movie Guys Podcast. And tonight we're talking about Venom, Part 3, and our final episode of the Anti-Hero series. If you want to check out the other two episodes in our archives, just click at the Anti-Hero series, and you'll be able to find Episode 1, Spawn, Episode 2, The Punisher 2004. But tonight we're talking about Venom, and I'm joined here with Eric and Ed like always. Eric, are you a turd in the wind tonight? How are you doing?
We are doing just fine, thank you.
Nice. Nice.
No, better than just fine. I mean, guys, this seems to happen a lot, and you know me when I say I don't like to do a lot of research on a movie. If I'm excited to go see it, because usually you hear a movie and you know what it's about. You can already make the decision right there if you are or are not going to go see this movie. So I hear Venom, I'm like, all right, I'm probably going to go see that just because I love the character. He's just badass. He looks dope. You know, I like him. But the more I was hearing buzz about this movie, the less hyped up I wanted to see this. Right, Ed? I mean, am I alone in this?
Oh, 100% right. I mean, if I could, I think the critics bit the head off this movie. I mean, basically, yeah.
Good job, everybody. Good job.
Yep. We all went there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I mean, we don't normally talk to each other about like critics and shit and reviews and whatnot, but you know that's kind of sort of what we did. And you know, Jordan started it off. Jordan had said some things, and I'm sure he'll get into it during the review about what Tom Hardy said and things that they cut out of the movie. But I'm just going to come right out and literally say it. Fuck those guys.
Here we go. All right.
Seriously.
Show your hand already.
Yeah, seriously, 100%. I'll do it. You know, I know that this is, you know, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I fucking love the movie.
There you go. There you go.
There it is.
There was a good mix, I think, of after the populace had seen it, the big mass of the opening weekend had seen it, where you had a good balance. You know, what do you think, Jordan? Because there was a lot of bad buzz around this movie.
Oh, there was tons of bad buzz, including on, I'm going to give some plugs here, but according on video podcasts on YouTube that I really like, I mean, Angry Joe and Chris Stuckman, not very good reviews. And IMDb gave this a 7.9 out of 10, but Rotten Tomatoes gave this 30. I was the fan leading up to this, Eric and Ed. I mean, you guys kept on telling me weeks leading up to this review, I don't know, Jordan, I don't know, this is going to be good. And I kept on saying, this is going to be good. Fuck those critics. This is going to be good. This is going to be better than Spider-Man 3 Venom, guys. This is going to be good.
Well, that's a low bar right there. But you already had things in place. Like, the PG-13 rating was, I think, a strike one for a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another one was a lot of the Tom Hardy talking about his disagreements, right? His creative differences with some of the movie, right? And then the big one, obviously, that we all know is that this is Sony. This is in association with Marvel. This is not a Marvel Studios movie. So they just put a tag on it. So that's a big one, too, because obviously Marvel Studios have made a brand of themselves and have made a base for themselves. And so people will go off of that tag alone. But this one is a Sony tag. So it falls under the original Spider-Mans, the X-Men's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Rider? Is Ghost Rider Sony?
I think so.
Fox, maybe? I don't know.
Well, it's a non-Marvel Studios character anyway. And you're 100% right. Everything that you just said were things leading up to going to see this movie that I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. And then critics were shitting on it. I'm like, oh, man, like, can we just – I wish we didn't have a schedule so we can change it. Can we go back in time 3 weeks and decide not to do the anti-hero thing leading up to this movie?
Right.
I kind of wished we had gone a different direction. And I take full responsibility for wanting to do that, and I was fucking wrong. I was absolutely wrong.
And before we get into our review of it, the nuts and bolts of it, I do want to hear Ed's point of view. So my theater experience is I'm at work on Saturday. I get off at 4:30. The movie starts at 5. I'm exactly 15 minutes away from the theater when I get off of work. My wife meets me there. We get at 5. We get there at 5:05, enough to catch the couple of previews for Robin Hood. And anyway, and
Angel, I think was the other one, the assassin, the Spielberg assassin, which looked like AI, by the way.
It did look like AI.
Yeah.
We walked in and the theater was packed.
Yep.
We had to sit at the very front, not the front where like you're touching the screen front, but like we had to sit in the front. And
isn't that where your favorite?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, this theater's not very big. This movie theater,
Psycho.
Ed has been there.
Absolute psycho.
Yeah, he is.
Ed has been to this theater before. We premiered a couple of our films back in the day of this theater. This theater is only a 5-screen theater, so it's not huge. And no theater has ever been sold out. It was sold out. I was surprised. So I watched the movie, and then here's my rant. I drive home separately from my wife because she meets me there. And I call Ed. Ed, what do I say to you?
I don't remember what it was verbatim, but you literally said, fuck those critics. Like, this is this year's Ghostbusters.
I also compared it to Iron Man. The first
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah.
Because, Eric, I don't know, I've not said that to you yet. But
No,
I was telling Ed that I compared this to Iron Man 1. It's kind of the same beat. Evil guy, becomes the villain at the end, the Ironmonger, stuff like that. It just kind of reminded me of Iron Man.
Yeah, this was an origin story through and through, and from start to finish, they took the blank template out of every other superhero movie of origins, and they put it right onto this one with the fresh new Venom skin, and that's fine. It worked. There were a lot of things wrong with the movie that we can get into.
Yes, we will.
But you're right. Like the thing is that they just committed to the plan, and they knew the star was Venom. That's what I think made this movie work. I think that maybe if there was one input that maybe Marvel, or I don't want to give them credit because I really don't know who the hell did it, or it was just the original vision, but Venom was the main character, and there's just, it wasn't built for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you came to see. That's what everyone liked, and everyone else was just the ensemble. Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, everyone else was just the ensemble cast, and they focused on Venom and kind of what was going on there. It did what it needed to do, and I had fun doing it. Like, it worked. I guess as plain and simply is what I'm trying to say, is that I think it just worked. There again, I have a few things that we can get into because there are some what the fuck moments where I'm just like, well, wait a minute,
Yeah.
But like, it looked pretty. It looked very pretty, and I liked the way that Venom looked. I like the way that he's just this hulking. That's what I want him to be. I thought Eddie Brock would have been a little bit bigger. I thought, I depict him to be a little bit more of a bigger guy, but Tom Hardy's fine.
Well, with that being said, let's get into this. And before we get into it, just a little disclaimer here to everybody listening out there in the Movie Guys first. This is not our typical retrospective episode. So prepare for a nice in-depth conversation. And also, if you have not seen this movie and you do not want to be spoiler-filled, I'm just letting you know now, we're going to spoil the living crap out of this movie. So press stop now, go see the flick if you want to, and then come back and listen to the review later. But here we go. We're going to start it off the bat. One of the things that I liked right off the bat in the beginning of the movie here, guys, is I believe that the filmmakers and the writers actually did their research, because there are subtle little things that happens in this movie that is big parts in the comic book when it comes to Venom. Case in point, the opening is the spaceship crash lands. They have 3 symbiotes, right? And
4.
after 4 symbiotes. Yeah, that's right. The 4th one. Yeah, because the 4th one's never back. Anyway, but there's 4 symbiotes, right? And then they find a survivor, and they say the survivor's name is Jameson. That is Jameson's son, Jameson, who owns the Daily Bugle in the Spider-Man universe. Drop line. We don't need to get a character. I like that.
Right.
Ed, I want to ask you first, because you were the one that was hounding me for weeks. This movie's going to be shit. Was that subtle little reference going to you? Oh, they've done their research.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was. I had a little tip of the cap moment when they said that because, this movie is nothing to do with Spider-Man or has no place in the Spideyverse. You know what I mean? We get a hint later about into the Spideyverse stuff, right? Into the Spider-Verse video game, right? But my point is that like that's the only tie into the Spider-Man universe. And they didn't drop. I don't want to say they didn't drop the ball there, but I like the fact that they actually said this is fucking Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man.
Eric, what do you feel about them dropping the line of Jameson? I just like the fact that he's not a character. They just dropped the line, so they've done the research. A lot different than Spider-Man 3 when he's making out with Mary Jane and out of nowhere the meteor falls down, right?
They knew how to name drop. They knew how to name drop. They made it so because Jameson is obviously that's a buzz name. It sets off your spider senses.
I mean, yeah, I was excited about it. So then we get into Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy. Eddie Brock has a video podcast where he's called the Eddie Brock Show, and
he's an investigative journalist.
Yes, and he goes around and he takes down big corporations to show them how they really are. Before we get into what was cut out, Eric, did you like this little montage of who Eddie Brock is and as investigative reporter? Did you want more? How'd you feel about those?
No, it did a good, because it showed character what he was trying to do. It showed that first off, he's bit gritty. He doesn't really care, like the way that he dresses. He's doing it out of comfort. He's doing it because it's for a purpose. He doesn't really care what you think of him, type of thing. You could tell that the stories that he's covering is that he has better intentions. You know what I mean? But because of his attitude, he's the chaotic good type thing? Is that?
Yeah.
We kind of put him under there.
So what if 10 people lost their jobs? I took down a corporation kind of thing.
and given the material as well, you can also kind of have a grasp of his influence, of his gravitas, of where he's at in the position of the world. So he's obviously got a big network behind his back. He's obviously doing big bits with global world news, and protests, anything political up to date. So he's doing well, and it was well depicted, and it didn't really give a shit about Michelle Williams at all, Anne, about his fiance, but that's fine. She was really kind of a minor character, even though she has the super ability to teleport, apparently at the end of the movie, where she could just show up. Anyway,
we will talk about that. We'll talk about that.
I know, I'm getting there. I'm biting my tongue right now, boys.
Yeah.
But,
so Eric, you said a mouthful.
He's a good character, man. Like it's just kind of what is. Although I don't know, I wanted Eddie Brock to be a little bit more of an asshole because that's just kind of what I thought he was. Like he's arrogant,
Well, you said a mouthful because those are the scenes that Tom Hardy is pissed off about. The movie that Tom Hardy signed on to do was a Logan movie where it was going to take 2.5 hours to tell. We're going to tell an adult story here. This is the bulk of the movie that Tom Hardy's pissed off about, Eric. There are scenes where, like as an example, because they didn't specify the scene, that they cut from the movie where, he went to West Virginia to, to take down a coal mining plant because the owner was embezzling money or whatever, right?
Okay.
But that ended up costing 50 people their jobs. And it showed those people that lost their jobs, their hatred towards Eddie Brock because of that. So those scenes were cut out. Also, to jump ahead a little bit, when Michelle Williams says enough is enough, which we'll specify that later, that's because every time he goes out and does something, she tells him in these cut scenes, do not do what you typically do, and he defines her anyway and does what he wants to do. And when the inevitable happened, that was the last straw. So you have 25 minutes of a movie that was cut out, that was all character development between him and Michelle Williams and why he's an asshole.
Oh, that makes more sense because it seemed like she just cut the rug pretty quick, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, you could tell. Listen, this movie was what, a little bit over 2 hours, just about 2 hours.
Just under.
And it moved. The pacing in this movie is fast. Like, from start to finish, this movie moves quick. You gotta, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta catch up because it moves.
Yeah, you cannot go and get some popcorn in the middle of this. So with that being said, now Ed, on to you here, okay? So Eddie Brock is in San Francisco with Michelle Williams. He has a job to go and interview the Life Foundation and its owner, which is Riz Ahmad. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Riz Ahmad's the actor. Carlton Drake is, and he's like a young Steve Jobs, essentially. Maybe like a Zark Muckelberg. He's like a Tony Stark.
He's Elon Musk. He's Elon Musk is who he is.
Tony Stark.
There you go.
He's Elon Musk. He's Elon Musk minus the weed.
So he goes there, and he's not supposed to ask dick hole questions. His boss even tells him not to do it. But he asks the dick hole questions about, hey, you're killing people, blah, blah, blah. And Michelle Williams, who plays Eddie Brock's girlfriend, her firm is the law firm for Drake. So because he asked all those dick hole questions, she gets fired. Did you think her leaving him and breaking up with him because she got fired was justified? Or would you have liked to seen those 25-minute build-up scenes to lead up to that breakup?
Well, it depends on the movie you want to watch and the story you want to tell. I mean, being an adult, loved Logan. I loved that idea. And yes, I would like to see that, and I think the director's cut of this movie is going to be absolutely fucking fantastic. And they have to release it with those scenes. Just plain and simple. That being said, for what they ended up giving us, which was basically a version of this movie where this dad can buy their kid a Venom comforter for their bed, right? Like that's what they wanted. That's what they ended up giving us. But like, yeah, I would have liked to see them, and I'm looking forward to seeing them because it does sort of halt the story in the sense that you're kind of like, wait a minute, what do you mean enough is enough? Are we supposed to imply that he lost his job at the Daily Bugle and she moved out there with him? Like, okay, I get that kind of, but she's forgiving of him all about it, and then within 10 minutes later they break up, right? Like that's not that doesn't give us enough. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I would like to have them been included, but at this point in this movie, it sort of drives the story, you know, because that breakup sort of makes him depressed, and that gives him the motivation because he wants to go get his girl back. So he has to go do what he knows how to do, which is take down the company that sort of took her down too.
Now on that, Eric, what I like about this movie is some subtle little things. Like, for an example, it's been 5 months since the breakup. He's drinking all the time at a bar. He lives a very bachelor lifestyle. He keeps on going to the same Asian supermarket to get odds and ends to eat. And he always talks to the bum lady
the homeless lady, Maria.
Homeless lady. Yeah. And I like the fact that early in the film, just to jump for a second, is that he talks to her, we have her as a character, and then the next time he goes by, she's no longer there because we find out that the Life organization is taking homeless people off the streets because nobody's going to miss them, quote unquote. So it's been 5 months. And Drake's assistant, she decides that she does not like these experiments. They have the symbiotes. They are going to do human testing. She finds it wrong, and she goes after Eddie Brock to help this. Is that a clean storyline? Do you like that, Eric? Do you like that his assistant gets Eddie Brock to where he needs to go, or would you rather have found Eddie Brock discovering this for himself in another way?
No. So this actually, I think, made a lot of sense, and I'll give this movie credit because I got this part right, at least in my opinion. Obviously, everything is subjective, but no. So he has a reputation for being this guy to take down, to leak the story, the whistleblower. He has a reputation for it, and so obviously it's one of those where the scientist, played by Jenny Slate, by the way, Dr. Dora Skirth, she, by default goes, oh, I know, there's a guy locally in the area who knows who can do this, so that kind of made sense, and it seems also because he doesn't want to do it. He's very reluctant at first to do it, right? And,
which is nice.
Yeah, exactly, because he's like, no, fuck that. That got me in the first place, but then he goes to that part where he's just like, oh, I really don't have anything else to lose. What the fuck else, So I like that. That gives him motivation. It's there. I like that. There didn't need to be any relationship between him and the homeless lady. It didn't matter because it didn't matter. It could have been completely a random stranger in there that was just going, help me, and his humility already would have been, let me get you out.
Honestly, I don't know if I would agree with you on that because he does have a relationship with Maria. So when he sees her, he goes above and beyond to try to save her. I would argue with you.
I'll agree with you. No, either way, I would just say that it really doesn't matter. Either way, because of what was going on in the symbiote testing and how it was transferred, that made sense. How it was transferred that way because they were doing symbiote testing, and I liked that. That made a whole lot of sense. Even though, again, that was very, very quick. But I guess that's supposed to just show you that Riz, the Carlton Trigg, is an evil guy. Did you mention that the other antagonist, the alien symbiote that escaped to the Jameson, was able to then kind of body shift to other people and get the hell out of Dodge?
Which, you know what, I wasn't going to bring this up, but thank you for saying that. You could tell that there's a hard rated R movie in here somewhere. Because they go there. They have a little girl be infected with the symbiote.
Now, we'll get to that because that's a big problem that I have with this movie.
We'll talk about it right now because we talked about it, because you brought it up. I mean, right. Because technically, don't they die when they transfer to another body?
Yeah, technically they do. But here's the thing, is that, okay, Eddie Brock is infiltrating the life system, or the life building, right? The whatever the hell. And it's supposed to be ultra secure. They allude to there being cameras and tight security shifts everywhere, blah, 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 and he was able to sneak in because of her help, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like towards the end of this movie, just about any fucking buddy can get in. And it seems also that Riot, the bad symbiote is his name, goes from the astronaut to EMT to driver to
local Asian woman
to old lady to little girl at the airport. And then the little girl, red dress, blonde fucking hair, as her mom's going out to get the car, just walks away. And then when the next time we see her, she pops up in the middle of the goddamn laboratory. How did she get there? Where is she? Like, no one's just going to, there's a little girl missing,
That's a scene that's missing. I guarantee it. I don't know that for sure, but that's
How the fuck did that little girl get into one of the most secure areas in whatever the hell. A little girl. I understand that Riot's in there, and Riot itself as a symbiote could have done some, squeezed into tight areas and something, but that's a little girl. You don't think, okay, we can just assume, in that part, I get it, that she probably, whoever stopped her probably died, right? That's the only thing that I'm getting.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is that there's probably missing a scene in Eric. I'm sorry, and Ed. I don't know if you would agree with me on this one, but that's probably a missing hard R scene where the little girl's walking away and then it cuts. But the mom probably in an R-rated scene would run after her and go, "Oh, Jessica, what are you doing? Come back here!" And then symbiote knife through the face.
Yeah,
everybody runs away, and that's how she.
As I say, that's a big thing of what we're missing because of that, you get big chunks that are obviously missing. Whether it be the relationship between Eddie and Ann, or whether it be how this girl is able to just go from here, or whether it be how Ann again is able to just. By the way, again, security doesn't matter anymore in the most highly secured area in the building, or in the building in San Francisco, because now Ann is able to just walk through the fucking thing, and she also has a recording of a high frequency sound that's over a 14, whatever the hell decibels. She just has that with her, and luckily there's also a sound system that's hooked up throughout the entire. And it's also, is there a rocket launching in the Bay of San Francisco?
Yes, there is in this movie. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
So, okay. Anyway, aside
So-
from there being an actual rocket in the Bay of San Francisco, it's also rigged with sound. The entire platform is rigged with megaphone speakers that are able to emit and that she has, and she's able to get there without the use of any thumbprints, biometrics, or it just whatever. Anyone. They made a point to say this was hyper secure, and then towards the end of the movie, just any old fucking person can walk in.
Yeah, like this movie has sort of a grindhouse feel in that way, where there's so much shit that was cut to make it PG-13, to where like you feel like you're missing something. Like somebody caught the reel on fire when they were smoking a cigarette while they were editing it.
Nice
You know what I mean?
King Kong reference from 33. I love it.
Yeah. So
It's a wrap up, is what I'm trying to say. You know, like
Yeah.
they're trying to go wrap it up. We gotta end this movie by 2 hours. Let's go, people. Wrap it up.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
So Eddie Brock is now Venom. We get a great chase. He climbs up a tree. He comes back home. He eats spoiled chicken. He eats all the time. Venom's saying is, feed me. He doesn't know what's going on. And this is where Tom Hardy's acting is just great. You know, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Tom Hardy goes to the seafood restaurant and he decides to take a bath in the lobster tank.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so fucking fun. Tom Hardy, which we're going to talk about right now, is great in this movie. Not like Oscar nominated great, but I mean, he did a good job. I believed him. I believed that he had a split personality, a la Jekyll and Hyde. I thought it was great.
I think everyone did a fantastic job in this movie. Like that was another saving grace. It's well acted.
So we're not going to go on much longer, but I do want to talk about something that I've done my research on. One of my gripes in the movie by watching it, by not doing my research, is that Michelle Williams, Anne, gets the symbiote suit, and Eddie Brock is going to have a major battle at the end with Riot. And they're in the forest. He's about to be executed, and here comes Anne as female Venom and transfers the suit back to him via a la Kiss. Doing research, Anne is an actual character in the comics. Do you guys know this?
Yeah, isn't there's a Lady Venom?
She's called She-Venom.
She-Venom, I mean, yeah.
She-Venom is the name of Anne's character in the comics, and I just wanted to say this point here real quick. This is only a few sentences, but one of the fans of the Movie Guys verse to know this in you. In Anne's first appearance, she's a brunette with glasses, and in later's appearances, she loses the glasses and goes blonde. And Anne was Eddie Brock's ex-wife, a successful lawyer, and she assisted Spider-Man by sharing some of Eddie's history with him. Later, she follows Spider-Man to an amusement park, and they have a fight, and then she becomes Venom. And her sole goal as She-Venom is to attack and kill the men that have done her wrong.
Well, there you go. Hell hath no fury, huh?
Yeah. Before we get into the final end of it, I know we're jumping around a little bit, but Ed, you watched the movie the other day, and you called me and you said the motorcycle chase was what got your attention right off the bat. So I wanted to give you time to talk about why you like the motorcycle chase so much.
Well, and it was basically because everything that we had talked about going into the movie, like I was not expect, even though the two of you had seen it before I did, and you had both mentioned that like it's much better than you think, I was still on the edge. I'm like, I don't know, like maybe not. So I was kind of scrolling through Instagram when I was watching it, like kind of doing, so I was on Snapchat, like I was kind of half watching the movie at the beginning, right? And then the motorcycle chase scene started, which was like the first scene where he's like, Venom and him are understanding, like, and in that scene where he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to trust you. Like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Like, go ahead and do this, please. Like, just don't kill me. And Venom's like, trust me, we got this. We're not going to die.
Yep.
That scene was fan-fucking-tastic. The whole thing where he's like, okay, fall, figure something out. And he falls and he creates this shield beneath him. And he's like, how did you do that?
It worked, right?
Yeah. And then the scene, like the part of that scene where he's like, there's a dead end. And Venom goes, not for us, there's not. And jumps over the thing and then catches the motorcycle, right? Like, that whole scene from start to finish, I went, fuck yes, I put my phone down, I watched the whole rest of the movie. And that's exactly what happened. And so yeah, that was the hook for me.
So we get the end of the movie where Drake is now Riot, who is Venom's arch nemesis in this movie. They have a great CGI battle. Eric, I'm going to give you time to talk about this because I know you were raving about the effects in this movie. And Venom and Riot just go balls out here on the base of the rocket ship. Eric, what do you think about this?
This was real. So a big part of it was because they had that long extending bridge between land and to the land or the takeoff pad, right? The rocket pad or where it takes off. And so that's where a lot of this fight is. And so you have this half chase, half kind of brawl going on, and a lot of it's too because there's dialogue in it that's going on. Not even just dialogue. I mean, but like, you know, between multiple people because you have now the symbiotes as a character and the other people as characters. And so there's a lot of just things going back and forth and a lot of tossing back and a lot of flexing between the two. It's really cool just to see those characters interact. It's really cool just because that's a bit of nostalgia, but it's just sweet effects. These guys are like, there's a popular video game, Prototype. I was just talking about this the other day. Prototype where you can just do kind of like that mold or like that Green Lantern effect or that Sandman effect where you can just kind of create the weapons in your hands, you know, turn it into a sword, throw out a projectile spike, and just like being able to have that, but be able to look as badass as those two. Here's the thing: is there was a very confusing part, and I wonder if they'll dodge or if they'll dodge it or if they'll continue it on into another movie when they're fighting on the rocket ship, and there's a lot of back and forths, and it looks really cool because obviously they're still trying to get onto the rocket so they can get out up and away so they get the rest of the symbiotes. Michelle Williams plays the high frequency noise, which is their kryptonite, which she used kryptonite, by the way, in a Marvel universe.
She did. Yeah, she did. She said that.
She did say that. But they seem to fuse together. Did you guys see that part?
Yes. I liked how the guys, Tom Hardy and Drake, were kind of just along for the ride at that point. You know what I mean? Because because the symbiotes are just going at each other, and then they break apart, and then there's Tom Hardy and Drake just kind of just sitting there and just allowing this to happen. It's crazy how much of yourself did you give up.
It was a weird effect to see, kind of almost like the group fight between the four of those, where it breaks up because of the high frequency sound. But again, there's a part where they fuse together almost as one, like, massive thing.
Yeah,
and then
it was great.
So yeah, that'd be. I wonder if we get to see if Riot will come back because maybe a little bit of him was taken. I don't know. We'll.
So after that, we do have our Stan Lee cameo. We have two more scenes to talk about. To all the people in the movie guys verse, and then we'll get into our final reviews because I got one for Eric that I want to ask. But the first scene I want to talk about after the epic battle is what Eric has been bitching about, I would argue, for the past couple of weeks, is he goes to the carryout, the same guy robs the woman, and Venom comes out and says there's a little spiel, I'm going to cut off your arms and your legs, and you're going to roll down the street like a turn in the wind. Eric, do you hate that line still?
Yeah, I do. Swear. Drop a fucking F-bomb. There was only one F-bomb in the movie, but if you're going to threaten somebody, yeah, the look is scary, but when he says turd, I'd be like, all right, man, I guess I'll just leave, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
All right, I was curious if it changed your mind or not, because I was just curious. The second scene in the movie
still needs to be R-rated. Needs to be R-rated.
Is we go to San Quentin, and Eddie Brock is talking to Venom on his motorcycle on the way to San Quentin, mid-credit scene, and Eddie Brock is there to interview Cletus, and Cletus is going to be Carnage, who was kind of Venom's Joker. And we get Woody Harrelson, the Woody Harrelson in this movie, and his carrot top wig, acting all a bunch of bat shit. Ed, I'll ask you second, but Eric, were you fanboy geeked out like I was in this scene?
It was dope. I was excited for that when he dropped the Carnage, it's Cletus Cassidy, so I mean, yeah, it's, I'm excited to see just Carnage, dude. Like, Cletus aside, I want to see what Carnage looks like. Riot looked sweet. Carnage has got to be even fucking better. Like, he's got to be better,
Woody
right?
Harrelson. So you know Woody Harrelson is going to just fucking
nail it. He's going to nail it.
Right.
Yeah, you know that's going to happen.
I'm excited.
Ed, I know you walked out because you did not know that there was a mid-credit scene, but does that sound like something that you would have wished you stayed for?
Yeah, I mean, like I later researched it and Googled it, and the thing is that I mean, from what I hear, it was a great scene. I wish I would have stayed for it. I mean, it was I didn't know it was there. I was
it's fine. It was a dialogue. You got the piece. You're good to go.
So that brings us into our popcorn rating. So we'll go with Ed first, like always. Ed, what will be your popcorn rating for Venom?
This is easily a large bag for me. Had they put back in the stuff that they cut, if they made a Logan-esque movie, it would have been a plus. But this is a large bag. I mean, I had some gripes with it, just like you guys have talked about. I mean, it's very storyboard-esque. Like it's very cut and dry in the template of superhero movies. Really, any movie, really.
Origin especially. Yeah,
especially origin movies. And Jordan, you hit the nail on the head when you said like Iron Man 1. But I hope that this was not as bad as I predicted, and this was not anywhere near as shitty as all the reviews and critics that we've been listening to and reading. So it's definitely another reason why Movie Guys podcast is the best, because we actually go in and come out with our honest opinions rather than just give you the diatribe that everybody else is going to give.
The paid opinion, right?
That's it. Our opinions are not paid. Our opinions are what movie fans want to hear and what we as fans want to tell you.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we will accept bribes, yes.
After this review, I got to go cash that Sony check.
Yeah. Well, just share it with me because I bet you it's huge.
Fuck all of you. All right, so Ed gives this one a large bag. Eric, what's going to be your popcorn rating for Venom?
I think this is easily a large bag, too. Like, I really enjoyed it just because it's not to insult it by saying that it's simple in its storyboard origins, but it just worked. Like, the movie was 2 hours, and I could tell that it was moving fast. Didn't feel like 2 hours. I saw it at 3D theaters, and for me, I felt like it's good pace. Everything just was boom, boom, boom. Took me to the next scene. I got it. Okay. We're there, and it just moved. I liked the way the movie worked. It just was trying to set up, and I like the way that it was well acted. Although I do again know why they put PG-13, because they wanted to appeal to a wider audience and make the base a bit more so they can set it up, right? But
yeah,
This was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Plain and simple. It was just fun. I would definitely watch it again on Netflix. Like, for sure. If it's on Netflix, I'll probably put it on for sure. It just looks pretty. I enjoyed it. But this movie, if it was R-rated, give a little bit more violence, a little more adult humor, because every time there was violence here, you didn't see any blood. PG-13, right? And if you had some more swearing to kind of add to the tone a bit more of the movie, then I think you're looking at something that would rival Deadpool right now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Well,
add in those scenes a little bit more. Yeah, if you made it a little bit more darker, I think Sony would have had something on their hands there. Just to reiterate.
Well, the highest rating that we can give a movie all together unanimously is a large bag of popcorn. So this one for me is going to be a large bag as well. So in the spectrum of the Movie Guys verse, this is considered one of the best that we have reviewed. This is not a terrible movie. Like I've said, to repeat what Eric and Ed have said, the critics are wrong. Yes, it's a PG-13 movie, but they still did great things with it. Venom was big and hulking, like he should be, unlike Topher Grace's character.
Right.
I loved the interplay and the Jekyll and Hyde-ness when it comes to Venom and Eddie Brock. I understand in the comic source that Eddie Brock is kind of like a bodybuilder, like a big guy, but I thought Tom Hardy played it right, and I think Tom Hardy deserves credit for what he did in this movie. And I love the fact that Michelle Williams is not just a throwaway girlfriend role. I mean, like, she did more in this than what's her face from Iron Man. What has Paltrow's ever done?
Pepper.
Pepper. Yeah, she did more in this movie than Pepper did in the Iron Man trilogy.
I disagree with that, but
Well, I mean, what you were saying about, I think Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams did a fantastic. Tom Hardy did a fantastic job.
He did. I thought this was great. I thought it was fun. No, this is not the movie of the year. No, God, no, this is not even, should be considered for an Oscar for Best Film, maybe special effects. But overall, it was a fun movie. And I think you should not listen to the reviews on this one. I think you should listen to our review and check this one out.
It's on the radar, for sure. It's on the radar. I'll put it on the map when the sequel comes out. I you know what? Consider the ticket already bought.
I mean, for the movie guys Oscar specials, yeah, this one would be our nomination probably. But we'll get into that in a later.
For an Oscar, sure.
Well, what I mean.
No, I get you.
I'm teasing to the fans.
I know.
It's a little bit of a tease. So anyway, this concludes our anti-hero retrospective. Again, you can check it out at the archives at movieguyspodcast.com. Click on the anti-heroes the series tag there, and you can check out Spawn, Episode 1. Episode 2 was Punisher, 2004. And, of course, now this one here, Venom. We're getting ready for Halloween here, fans. We're getting ready for our first episode. We're doing a 2-part retrospective. Our first episode is going to be a whole collection of the Halloween franchise. Number 1, all the way through Rob Zombie's remake, number 2. We're going to talk about all of them. Oh, yeah. We're talking about all of them. And if you, as the fans, want to spend the week in Halloween fandom, go to AMC, and all the movies are available for you to watch to get ready for our release of the Halloween franchise. And then episode 2, to end our Halloween franchise, will be the new Halloween sequel coming out in just a few weeks. So we're excited to give that one to you guys because I'm a Halloween guy. I know a lot about Halloween. It's going to be a fun episode for me to talk about. I'm already on part 5. I'm already on part 5. I got like 6 more.
I got to catch it up to do.
I got like 6 more to go. So we'll talk about that later. But make sure to check out on our archives because we do have a schedule now posted for all you fans so you know exactly what movies that we are reviewing and when they are being released all the way from now until January. So check out those in the schedule page on movieguyspodcast.com. Check us out on movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. You can download this episode and many others on iTunes, on iHeartRadio, and on Spotify. Just search movieguyspodcast.com, and you'll find our show, Movie Guys Podcast, another show called 40 Distraction, and a brand new wrestling show called Called in the Ring, which is hosted by Ed and I. It's just a wrestling podcast, a retrospective, if you will, of everything wrestling, so make sure to check that out. And also more interviews will be coming your way. Make sure to go to the celebrity interview page on our .com there, and you'll be able to see more interviews coming your way soon. Eric and Ed, thank you, like always, guys, for joining me for this review. I had a great freaking time, and we'll talk to you guys next week for Halloween franchise. Have a good night.